Hello, welcome back to my channel. I've just been to a new barber. I don't know if I'm fully on board. My friends have said I've lost it. You put your life in someone's hands when they have those shears. Look at me. Look at me. I need a transformation. I'm getting by, but my photos aren't. And I need my photos to transform like I have. I want them to go pro level, better than I was doing last week, better than I was doing last month. If I don't feel like I'm making progress in my work, I'm gonna get anxious and I'll start scratching holes into my clothes. I'll become disheveled. And it's not a drug problem. It's not. Well, that's not actually true. I do think it is slightly drug induced. You guys are here to figure out how to transform your photos. I'm here to tell you how to do it, or at least a few tricks that I use to push things into a different level. The first tip, good planning. I can't stress that enough. Having a good idea, a solid foundation to build on can really make a difference in the final outcome. And in that, a nice factor to elevate your photos, working with props. A decent selective prop can really elevate things into the next level. And that brings me to today's shoot, which is going to be using a Native American headdress with a really cool metallic ornate necklace that I think will have this nice tribal feel. We're going to be shooting outdoors in the natural light, which is how I started shooting. I love that. So when she puts on that headdress, I'm going to expect her to transform herself into the character for the day. And I'm going to need to transform her into my camera. And I'll do that with a 50 mil. I love this lens. It's so versatile. I'll let you have a close look. See? Yeah, I love this thing. So this will be doing most of the work. I'm excited. Let's start heading towards a secret place with, a mountain and forestry. But I can't tell you where the location is. Once we get on set, I'll show you around a little bit. How does that sound? Don't tell anybody though. Seriously, don't tell anybody. This is my secret. Except for sharing the video everywhere. All right, let's go. So I'm driving on the way and I'm behind this truck. These huge styrofoam pieces just flew out and they hit my car. I hope it's not too bad. But the show goes on. You know what I'm saying? The show goes on. We got to make it to the shoot, like make it to the Greek. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just going to keep documenting as I get pummeled with shit because I stop at nothing. I stop at nothing. To be continued. What's up, everybody? We are on site. I'd tell you, but it's a secret mountain that we just found. Nobody else knows about it. Right. I think we just discovered it.
I know, right? I hope somebody come out the woods and like chop our heads off. It's no people.
It could be though. Yeah, it's out here. As you can see, we've got a crazy view. So we'll try and incorporate some of that. So stay tuned and you'll see the shots later. So during this shoot, a few challenges that I ran into was the sun and the line of the forest that we were up against. I was struggling on whether or not to put her into the shade, have her in direct sunlight. I ended up shooting both. Ultimately, my favorite shots out of this set were her being backlit by the sun and using a reflector. I felt like that gave me the most pop. I found that when she was in direct sunlight, it seemed to be flattening her out, which I didn't want. And since the headdress she's wearing is so dynamic, I wanted to keep that range going. So sometimes in natural light, all you really need to fix the issues is to just use a simple reflector to bounce the light back. All's well. Let's check it out.
That's a wrap.
This one had all the energy. I had all the mountain climbs. I guess that was my job today, up and down.
If you're not working out, you're not doing it.
Yeah, so if I sound out of breath, that's why. We are literally on the side of this mountain. I'll show you. That is not steep.
Definitely. I was scared you was gonna roll down there.
There was a couple times I got close. But we did a lot of shoots. She brought the energy. We went into the woods. We came out of the woods. We went onto the rocks, into the sun. Pretty much did it all. And I'll actually show you some photos right now. I'll check back in with you guys at the computer desk. Welcome back. We have descended from the mountaintop. We have been there. We have elevated our picture taking by good planning, cool prop decision, even having the models act and do some role play. And so now our images are elevated. Congratulations, you're done. Just kidding. Only for amateurs. We haven't elevated it yet. We've only got a good base. We got to take those images into Lightroom and continue pushing. You just did the warm up. Now, come on. Tired, you guys. You You got to be quicker than that. You know that. You know, I take you to the mountaintop. I show you the secret spot. And you just want to call it quits all the time. You say, are we done yet? Are we done yet? No, you're not done yet. Okay, now we're in Lightroom. Let's take a look at a photo that we got. Here it is, right there. That's part of the acting I'm talking about. Posing and everything, she was just all in it, being super chieftain, which I appreciate. So now, let's take a look at where I pushed it to. Bam. Before, after. Raw, edited. As you can see, I basically just made it crunchier. I wanted to bring up the midtones. You can see in her face especially. Get some of that brightness back in. I changed some of the blues to teal, as you can see. But all in all, it's not that crazy. I just made it a little bit brighter, a little more contrast. Now let's take this photo into Photoshop and keep pushing. All right, guys, so here's the final edit. This was out of Lightroom, and that's now out of Lightroom now. A lot more punchy even still, and of course we added the face paint and all that. More color grading, more pop. So let me take you through this, guys, step by step here. Okay, so as you can see, this is my base edit right here. So essentially what you're gonna be looking at is, this is where I did my frequency separation. So this is on and off. This is just me as I'll go in here. This is just cleaning up basic skin. So very subtle. So we had issues with the makeup because she showed up with lashes on, so I had to take those off. I didn't like that. And then I just fixed the makeup. So once I did my base edit, then I go into what I call the micro dodge and burn. So that's basically gonna be spot dodge and burn where I see trouble areas. I'll show you what the masks look like. So that's cleaning up the armpit. And as you can see here, I'm cleaning up the face marks, but everything's very subtle. Then I have the macro dodge and burn. So that's here. Now that's quite a difference. So she's being hit by a reflector. So as you can see, as it goes down towards her stomach, her own knees were blocking that reflector. So you can see the tonal change here. So I wanted to bring some of that back up so it was closer to her face in range. And of course the dodging and burning of just the face, I'll show you what those look like. So here you can see the highlights on the face. These are the shadows. All very subtle stuff. Now, this is the fun part. This is the series of layers where I added the face paint. Bam. I'll show you the mask. I essentially just cut it out. Left her eyes there. Wanted to make it look like she had face paint on as best I could. See, sometimes I get these ideas after we've already done the shoot. So once it's said and done, and I wanted to push it further. The last little bit here, a little bit of punch. I'm just adding a little bit of that crunchiness, and it deepens the tones, desaturates the color a little bit, and that's the final edit. All right, guys, that was our trip to the mountaintop of transforming our photos, pushing them, elevating them. I hope you learned something. I think you could see that through a little bit of creative planning, some interesting props, having that model act gives you a nice base. And then that way, when you take those awesome photos back to the computer, you can you push them as far as you want. I mean, you can keep them there too, but taking things to the next step further can simply be a matter of good preparation and creative thought all the way through the whole process. And now that you know my secret location and my secret editing tips, I won't be here any longer. I've basically made myself obsolete, and I hope it was friggin' worth it. Please smash like, please subscribe. That way you can come back and visit my digital ghost. I appreciate it.